Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire. Let me go back here and double check what game I'm playing. Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire, thank you. So we haven't done everything on Risa. We haven't done stage 3. But I want to see if I do stage 1, if it will unlock the next girl. Then we know actually we could have played just stage 1 and stage 2 of the first 2 girls to unlock the third girl instead of going all the way to the most difficult ones. So we're going to skip stage 3 for now and play Kanan stage 1. Now because Kanan's a new girl, I bet we get a little bit different style of play because it was time to play with this girl and we got 3 shuffles and 3 assists here, so I wouldn't be surprised if something different changes here. Nope, it doesn't look like anything changed here. You still have 3 shuffles, 3 assists. We still have the golden monkey flying around. The only thing different is we have a different background of what looks like a laser light show, a performance, a stage, and this girl. And the layout here is maybe a little bit difficult, but we'll see. It almost looks like to spell something out, but because we're seeing like a heart and something else, and so if it does spell something out, it's in Japanese or Chinese, and if it's in Japanese, then it wouldn't really make any sense at all anyways, because there aren't enough tiles to put enough detail for Kanagari. The main thing is just to get rid of this piece and these pieces, and then we're kind of done. I don't think there would be any other complications here. This, and this gets rid of that. This can't touch that, so I would have to get rid of this red dragon, but that's easy enough to do. Maybe I played poorly there. This 3 is gonna end up being a problem. This here. I am seeing a potential issue where we get snuck into a no more draws play if we're not careful. So like this 5 and this 5 should just stay on the board for the moment. But this pretty much just is guaranteed victory now. So she's saying yes, and she's saying sweet. So she's saying sweet and hi. Sweeto it's a English. She's speaking English in a heavy Japanese accent. As Japanese people are taught English, sort of, but it wouldn't particularly pass for English in any English-speaking country. One of the things, I'm not sure about the Chinese language, Cantonese, because as far as I can understand it, Cantonese is very like in the throat glottal sound where you're making a lot of sounds that a Western person can't even make, and having to have your ears trained to listen for sounds that you just wouldn't even recognize the subtle differences there. So, but I know in the Japanese language, and that's what she's speaking, and that's what they're all speaking, they like two syllables things. I don't know if syllable is the right word. It's a letter, a consonant, and a vowel, basically, always together. Everything in Japanese words are broken up. And sometimes they use 3 letters, but it's said as if it was 2 letters, if that makes any sense. So you don't slur, you don't draw, you don't stretch out any pronunciation. It's all very in a line. Make one sound, then you move on to the next sound, then you make one sound, then you move on to the next sound. Although it doesn't, to my ear, really follow that when you're saying different words. Often when I hear people speaking Japanese and then see it written as to what they were actually saying, I don't hear any pauses or breaks between the words. Not as one giant run-on sentence, but like, so that's why she's saying sweet toe, is because a single sound of T going like that doesn't follow the rules of Japanese. It has to be toe because it's a consonant and a vowel. At least that's how I understand it. Maybe I'm just speaking out of turn completely and I'm totally wrong. And then sometimes they'll write things differently than they pronounce it. Like one here in Japanese is written in the English translation ichi, I-C-H-I, but they will pronounce it each, just one vowel, one consonant, so the other way around. And then 2 is ni, and then 3 is san, which totally ruins what I was just saying, so and then I never remember what 4 is, or how to pronounce 4. And so I know how to count up to 3 in Japanese, and I always forget 4. Which is why I never succeeded in learning Japanese, even though I tried. I simply didn't have the mental recollection to memorize all of it. In fact, I never was able to memorize or learn any other languages in school other than computer programming languages, which followed a very basic set of rules and worked very well with my brain. A lot more than people languages. Which probably says a lot about me. There is also the issue in Japanese of you're speaking, a lot of words are masculine and feminine, as it's true in a lot of languages. That's just not really true in the Western, well, no, let me rephrase that. It's not true in English. You don't have a masculine version of myself or I and a female version of myself and I in English. It's just myself and I. Whereas in Japanese, you say boko wa if you're a, I probably pronounced that totally wrong, if you're saying the masculine version of myself or I, and then you say watashi if you're a female version. And so you have to learn twice as much of the language, because you have to understand when a female's speaking to you and when a male's speaking to you, because they could be saying the exact same sentence and be using different words. And there are even more examples of that only complicate it further in Japanese language, because there are young kids way. So young kids don't call themselves boku wa until they are calling themselves like a man, or I'm grown up now, and I don't remember what the kids call themselves. But there's a different word, and Japanese as a language is incredibly detailed and specific, usually. Plus, they also have the honorifics, which the san, the chan, the onisama, which is one that's used less, or the sama, not onisama, which there's a lot more rules to that. In fact, that's Japan in a nutshell. It's just a whole bunch of society rules. So success of round 2, and a lot to learn. Yeah, if I somehow was born in Japan, I probably would not have made it out of junior high for all the society rules and all the structure and all the studying that I'm starting to wonder if she's making cat sounds. I don't think she is, but we'll see in a second. Seems like she is transforming into some kind of magical doll outfit or something. Yeah, either I would have flunked out and been kicked out of Japanese society if I grew up there, or I would have turned into a very different person that I probably wouldn't like, honestly. Not to say I fared much better in the Western schools. I was kicked out of plenty of those too. Yep. I guess I just didn't fit in anyway. But let's see. There's a match. There's a match. There's a match. 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 That was a mistake. Should have matched that piece with this. Now, it's always important to notice your mistakes as step 1. Recognize your mistakes. Step 2, admit them to at least yourself. Possibly don't admit them to anybody else. And step 3, try to do better in the future. That's the thing about video games that I love, is there's almost always a second chance. There's almost always an opportunity to do better if you fail. That's what kind of the great thing about games in general. Low stakes, lots of opportunity to improve. I haven't been using these very much, so let's go ahead and use these while we're here. And when you use this, it leaves it glowing even. That's nice. And so as long as I have one match that works, I'm good. This may just be a band outfit. I don't know if they really have marching bands in Japanese schools. I would guess some of them do, because they're always trying different things and trying to differentiate. But I wouldn't be surprised if most of them don't. I always felt marching bands were kind of silly. It's just the schools demand that you do some kind of physical activity, and if you didn't want to do anything else, join the band and march around and play an instrument if you can. And some kind of weird pseudo introduction to being in the military, I would assume, is part of it too. At least that's probably somewhere down the road where the roots came from that idea. I can match this, and I can match this, and I can match this. So 2 pieces side to side like this are perfectly safe pieces. So I can get rid of this and then match this top piece, and that's worth it. And then that, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then that solves it. There. That. I don't even know why they're blushing. It's like you're magically transforming from one clothing to the other. So she just said Doki Doki, which means heartbeat. It's my heart's beating, pounding. So usually it means my heart's beating because I'm feeling low. You kind of have to translate Japanese, but I guess you have to translate any language if you didn't speak it natively. So we did stage 1 and it didn't unlock the other girls. So you do have to do all of the outfits. So that's good to know. And see, the background changed too. So even if you don't know the language of Japanese, you can kind of get the inflection of it after you've heard a lot of it, even if you didn't really learn anything. So I can kind of tell Risa's personality that's trying to be inflected here is that she is more off-puttish, and she's kind of bothered by you the player, interfering and imposing on her. At least that's what I take from that. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But the way they sound is often, for voice actors, which is big business in Japan, they kind of know what they're doing to inflect emotion even if you don't understand the language. So I have to do stage 3 here, all 3 rounds before we unlock the next girl, which means I was right to do Rin and go through that incredible struggle on Rin through stage 4, which then also means that the game is just terribly programmed. It's not thought out well. Not programmed's the wrong word. It's not thought out well. The fact that it forced me to go through a really, really difficult time section. Now, I think maybe it didn't actually force me, and maybe I just needed to skip to her and play her 3 chapters, and that would have unlocked the next girl, and maybe Rin was supposed to be the most difficult boss character, but for some reason the boss character is unlocked by default, and the first person you can pick in the menu. Not thought out well, like I said, but there may not have actually been a game barrier that required beating all 4 levels against Rin. But it certainly felt like there was, and often in video games it doesn't matter what the truth is, it just matters what it feels like. Because this is an emotional presentation that's being made in any video game. It's appealing to have the player be invested emotionally and otherwise. And if the game feels hard but it actually isn't hard, the game's hard. If the game feels bad but it actually isn't bad, the game's bad. That's just how it goes. Let's go and do this and take that match and take that match, and I'm gonna leave these 2 as our backup. Let's see. We've got this 3 here that does nothing, and then this and this. So this works with this though. This gets rid of that one. This one gets rid of that one. This one gets rid of that one. I could do this here with that. This here with that. This here with this. And then this with that. And then that makes these 2 match and then wins the game. See, and I kind of wish I knew how long these puzzles took, honestly. Are they taking about 5 or 6 minutes? Or are they taking 8 to 10 minutes? I think they're closer to 8 to 10 than 5 to 6. And because of that assumption, I'm going to end this recording here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, go to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.